think this right here demonstrates one of the big dilemmas I have here on the channel. And that is I've got too many saws and not enough time. Because I've got this really nice Husqvarna 572 XP G with a heated handle, and I need to put some time on it just because I need to get familiar with the new saw. But I don't really have the time, you know. And the advantage of the G version of the Husqvarna Pro Series saws, the heated handle, is on those really, really cold days where you saw me taking my hands and grabbing a hold of the oil filter on the tractor to try to get them warmed up. With the heated handle, I wouldn't have to go through that pain and agony, you know. So I cut year-round, and I needed a saw more for the winter time, and that new saw's job is going to be exactly that. Well, this is one of those days that's shaping up to be a bit of a cluster. Gonna have to use these tools here. I just finished making up these. I need to get them to the post office, but I want to do some deburring and cleaning up before I actually ship them out. And so that was what I was ready to do this morning. And I don't know if you noticed there's something missing. Blew a hydraulic line loading out hay, and little snow came in to top off the day. So instead of doing what I planned this morning, the first thing I have to do is go get a hydraulic line built, fix the tractor, finish loading out hay, and then fire up that tractor right there and start clearing out some snow. Yeah, this is going to be my day. Started out with trying to load out some hay through a hydraulic line. So we've got a pretty good farm supply place that I can go to.
Got one of the town trucks coming through. One of the discussions that happened in the snowplow world over the last 15, 20 years is whether or not you need a wingman or not. You know, OPP, or one person plowing, was kind of a concept to save money in highway departments, I don't know, decades ago. Where I used to work, we just had one guy. You know, they made that conversion years ago. And to be perfectly honest with you, when I was plowing, you know, for 15 years, I didn't want anybody over there in that passenger seat to distract me. You know, the controls that the plow trucks had and how easy they were to work and access, I didn't really need another person. For that matter, it was something I didn't look forward to. The state's done a pretty good job, as usual, of getting the roads clear. At least the roads they're responsible for. Here comes a couple of state guys right now. See one coming off the highway. Now those trucks, where they have both wings, I can understand a wingman on those. You know what I'm saying? The one guy doesn't. That one just went by, didn't. But the one coming off the highway with the wings on both sides, and I understand that. That's a lot to take care of. But for the typical truck that runs around the back roads with one wing and one main plow, sander body, what the hell you need a wingman for? You can see right there on the door.
And the other thing I'm going to do today is change the oil in the John Deere. But before I do that, I've got to put some stuff away. One of the things I really like about this series of tractor is how easy it is to get to things like the oil filter. Now, I don't know if you remember, but I also had to replace that starter motor. That's one of those gear reduction ones. It's done beautifully for me. Nothing on the magnet. It's all good, right? But there is a slight difference between the Napa filter that came off and the John Deere filter that I'm going to put on. You got to put a little grease on these, otherwise they come off hard. This is the one that John Deere says is supposed to be on there. There's a half. Here's 3/4. There's 1. beautiful day, and Bob came up. We're gonna get some time out there in the woods, working on a couple of trees, a couple of them that I took down in prior videos. Start blocking them up and start processing to firewood task. At least that's the plan. He's got the workhorse, I got the toy. Poor thing. It's got some stories like how that got broke. Maybe I'll tell the story. Well, first things first. I got this really cool cover from Bob. That has to go on the saw. See, part of the hobby for me is starting with something like this and just making it ever so slightly better bit by bit by bit, you know? This one right here.
Upgrades.
Yeah. Instead of having a gazillion saws that you never use, you know? Start building a couple you really like to have.
I got both. I thinned mine out. Most of what I got is stuff that I want. If there's more there, then you can actually find the opportunity to run. Alright.
It's not wrong with the cover. Got a little hole in it, but for the kind of things that we do. So maybe I guess this one's going to go on my next John Shred build.
It'll get used again.
Yeah. One thing I need to do is shorten this wire though, Bob. Look at that. I need to take about a ½ inch off it. Not today.
Why is it longer?
It's an X-Torq. I like the X-Torq. Believe it or not, they start easier. With the
Well, they have a
X-Torq.
different start curve.
Yeah.
They
Even on
fire
these.
at a little lower RPM.
Yeah. X-Cut. Yeah, but is that the chain or is that your bar?
What? It's a brand new bar. It's a little bit of paint. So we'll tighten it up. I haven't covered this stuff yet.
No. I haven't even seen that stuff yet except for the training class. Look at that. Doesn't
That
look
sharpens it up a little bit.
Yeah. I gotta put a tank fit in there too. I need to get a good pull start too.
Yeah, kind of. That one doesn't match
No.
as much as it ought to.
Yeah. And I think these saws get into the category of they cut fast enough. You know? Yeah, we could probably eke out another
Well, in the endless quest to eke out another
something.
½ a second, I mean, it's diminishing returns. Unless you want to bang your chest and impress your friends, what are you doing that other ½ a second?
I don't know.
Yes, I know that's a big deal to a lot of guys, but I don't know.
No, you
It's
probably
kind of like it's fun, but
no, it does what it always does. Starts pretty easy and cleans up pretty quick. So I think we're ready to go do a project at some point. And I don't know if you've noticed that saw. I'm not sure if you're going to see one of those anytime soon. That is a 5. That's a 565 instead of the 572. So that is ostensibly the replacement for the 365, I guess. feel the half a pound difference. This is a little bit under 14 pounds empty, no bar oil, no gas. This is about 14 and a half. That's got a solid bar. This has got the total light. And you can feel it. Does it matter? It might. I suspect this 565 is going to vibrate quite a bit less. So, you know, I think, and Bob and I were talking about this morning, is rather than focus on the specific saws, I think I want to focus more on life with a saw. You know, which one's easier to live with. And instead of worried about a microsecond on a cookie, how about how does the thing make you feel through the whole day? That's the focus. Is that the same as my 49?
It's related. It's actually a 45. The starter came from another saw. So it says 40 on the starter and 45 on the top.
Yeah.
This is one of those little 15-inch Dolmar bars. Thanks to Scott and Steve at the cutting edge.
Now, is that one of the ones that had the partner roots?
Yeah, it is. It really is a partner. Painted, you know, Husky. Those Husky versions, Johnswood versions. 3 displacements on the chassis.
And that was like 80s into 90s, or
Yeah, this is actually 87.
87?
Okay. Yeah, actually it was pretty smooth for its era. I mean, they're kind of reliable. This is mellow, hasn't been done anything to it. It's
Perfect.
What I call it's a non-frantic saw.
Non-frantic
You know,
saw.
It's like it's just kind of easy. It hasn't really been used yet.
So this is its coming out party.
Yeah.
Well, I
No
think,
rear protection required.
yeah, I think we have the job for that saw. So,
The thing is, I put this together. You know, it's kind of an oddball clamshell thing. I never really did one of these. The compression was wiped, so I just want to go in and clean it up and mess around. But what do you do with it?
you gotta run it.
I mean, it's a good saw. It's like, you know, if you didn't have like 100 saws, and, you know, it's a useful saw. But, you know, you can't sell it for very much. You can sell it, what, like 100 and a quarter?
Yeah,
You know, but then do you really want the guy, what's your cheapest saw?
yeah.
You know,
no.
and you sell it in a store environment. You know, and the guy's going to expect like a new saw warranty. So,
You're married to it.
well, the thing is, you kind of keep it in the back and you don't put it out there for that Mr. Cheapo. What's the cheapest saw in the store? You know, you just like, when the right guy comes in, say, I got something for you.
Yeah.
But you don't put it out front. Everything works. Chain brake works. You know, this is one of the, like you said, with the Vibes, one of the early 3-spring deals. You know, the earliest Huskies, like the 262, didn't have this spring. Just tying it into the cylinder, so it always kind of felt a little. But you got the one up there. You got one under here, one under there. You know, it's actually, if you go back and think like what the Vibes were, you know, it's not hard rubber mounts. So you think, oh, what were most saws back in 1987 feeling like? Well, this was really considered smooth. So they're kind of funky looking, but they work.
Yeah.
It'll get stuff done.
Well, I gotta get my 50 going, or 49. And I found these. And these are all pretty good. You know, bottom ends are pretty good. Might be worth bringing them up and just cleaning up the bearings. I think as they are, they're not bad. But the reason why it's of interest to me is trying to get a handle on what the thread is for those clutches. And it looks like it's a M10x1 reverse.
There's some service bulletins that'll kind of take the mystery out of that for you.
Yeah.
You can just look at the serial number and know where you gotta be.
I think we got that running once. I think it needs to get run again. Well, yeah, those two things need somebody who cares. So I tried to have Bob take that one on right there. It runs good, but he didn't want any part of it.
No, the 925 is the biggest home light that I will need. Just because you want to move into lighter saws don't mean that you have to hand the heavier saws off to me.
Yeah. Yeah. We got those blocks of ice that have been sitting out here since the summertime. I think we better
Yeah.
warm them up and use them.
Thaw the water.
Ice water, that's what that is. It's ice water. Yeah, I didn't have a big push to do camera today, but you know something? We missed an opportunity in retrospect up with Matt, didn't we?
Well, I don't know. It's, you know,
'Cause he-
sometimes conversation gets stilted a little bit when there's a camera poking at your face.
Yeah, that's true. But I would say the summary is, now that he's got a full week on the 572, is that he likes it.
Oh yeah,
You know?
he's happy with it.
So
As is just about everybody that I know of.
So to all those people who say they want to hear what a logger has to say about the 572, not that the sample of one concept applies to people as well,
Yeah.
but the initial response to that seems like it's pretty good. So
Yeah. Well, you know, they spent a long time getting it out.
it's not a bad little saw right there. That chain works good for that kind of work. You know what's nice about those is they don't snag it and snap it right back into your face. You know, little branches and shit.
The 325.
Yeah, you know how you hit the 3/8 and you sit there and you put your bar on it, you hit the trigger, and it comes back and whacks you right in the face.
I could. Got yourself a nice little pile going.
No kidding.
Once you get the first one,
Huh?
once you get the first one, they just come easy.
With this tool, yeah. But I see what you mean. I'm used to pulling up just a little bit at the end. You do that, it'll end up in my foot.
Yeah, that difference in length. If we don't go all the way through it, we can make a few.
All right.
Yeah, it's running with the other two.
That sounds good to me.
It's got an 8 on it.
Okay.
There's a lot of branches on this one.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna take some cookies on that section right there. Yes, it's an animal.
That's a pop-up?
Yeah, it's a pop-up. That saw sucks to live with. That's a fun saw for fooling around.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, like the other John thread I got there, I mean hands down, because it's just an easy pull to start. It's got plenty of power. It doesn't vibrate. That one there, when it's cold, you cannot pull it over unless you put the decomp in. Even then, it's hard. And that's what I did on my freaking side. Is I pulled it over and it popped the decomp before it started.
Yeah.
And then I yanked on it again. Trip to the hospital.
I think too that's, you know, the 65 is still not broken in, but modified old 72s are a little snottier than that.
Yeah, but that's to be expected.
Yeah, it really is kind of supposed to be. It's still a nicer saw to work with.
But that's the whole point. It's
And-
funny because I'll bet you.
And I tell you, the gap in performance so far between that and the 572 is a lot bigger than $60.
Really,
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
I think the theme to me is, if you were to pick one of these saws to live with, the inverse of the time is how you'd pick them.
Yeah, but not because of the time.
Not because of the
Because
time.
of those other factors.
Yep. That thing's got good punch.
You know, it's not all about this. Part of this guys that are watching us like to build saws.
Yeah.
So that's a better saw to live with all day, but they're brand new. And if you want one, you got to spend $800. To a lot of guys, taking the garbage and dead saws that we use to build these two 372s, that's part of the hobby too. So guys that enjoy doing that, you know, it's like, well, you know, they'd rather do it themselves. So that's another factor, you know, on a plus side for these.
Yeah. That's a nice saw, Bob.
Yep.
I haven't run mine enough to know, but I'm telling you right now, I'd pick that over those saws. It's not that much farther behind. You don't have to feed that chain. That chain feeds itself nice.
Yeah.
So is that the new?
That's the new C85 Husky
I like
chain.
it better than what I have on the other saws.
I knew I should have brought an extra loop.
Yeah. So but that's, remember we used to talk about that, we haven't in a long time, is that total saw concept?
Yeah.
That's a nice saw.
This is a nice day. God, the sun feels good.
Yeah. Let me shut that thing off. I'm done. Unless you want-
Let's relocate to the shack.
All right.
We'll hang out a little bit. It's probably well after 3 by now.
Yeah. Did you get enough cut time?